fact, our story is a very challenging story. A lot of nice things happen, a lot of bad things happen, but anyway, it's a great story, yeah? Okay, I like to start off with a speech by Julius Caesar, by Shakespeare in Julius Caesar. He made a statement. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood lead on to fortune. Omitted, all their voyage of their life is bound in shallows and miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures. So what I'm trying to say is, for all of you, this is the time. If you don't do it now, there'll never be another time. And in the end, what we'll find is our business, our life is just a wasted life. Right? Okay. Okay, I'll just get a pin ready for it. Okay, our story starts way back in 1976. That's when I was first introduced to the AMWAY business by our Diamond Direct, Alfred Hendroff. Alfred Hendroff and I were working in the same insurance company, and he invited us to join the business. But that time I was a bachelor and I was not interested, because while doing insurance itself, I was already $1 million producer in the first few years. So already with that, I found AMWAY business is nothing, right? Especially in insurance. Now in insurance, what we find is when we sell a product, we make a lot of money. You sell something, you make $500, $600. But when you sell an AMWAY box of soap, how much do you make? $3, right? Good money or not? Good money now, you know, huh? I didn't know then. To me, it was peanuts. But anyway, I was not interested. And in fact, there's another friend of mine who are colleagues with us, and he and I used to go around and criticize people from doing the AMWAY business. Today, I'm on the other side of the fence, asking people to join the business. In fact, I used to criticize, and we used to go all out and see people who are already getting involved, or people who are thinking of getting involved. So we were the professional dream stealers, or the professional dream killers. I know some of you also have met people like that. But anyway, we didn't bother, because we felt that AMWAY business was nothing. But as time went on, I got married. You know who to, right? Okay, got married, and then she was from Kulwang. She came down to KL, and we had our first son. And when you have children, things start to happen, isn't it? Your way of life is different. Your outlook towards life differs. So Violet was doing the business. I mean, she was working. And after her first son, Atherton, was born, she thought she would stay at home and do the business, stay at home and probably give the AMWAY business a thought, because my sister, Janet, offered us the business many times before. And she thought she would do the business. And let me pass you to her to tell her story. Violet.
Good evening, everyone. Are you excited? Really excited? We are indeed glad and honored to be here, and really honored to be invited by AMWAY Malaysia to be called up here to give our success story. We hope that the tips that we share with you and the challenges that you have faced, in spite of the challenges that we have faced, we have still made it to Diamond, and you can do it too. As what Stone said just now, I joined the business first because we had our first son. I was working then until he was about 8 months old. I was working. Well, in his 6th month, I decided that I was not really spending much time with him, because by the time we got home, he was already fast asleep. In fact, Stone's mother was taking care of him, and by the time we got home, he was fast asleep. I just put him to bed. The next morning, rush him to Stone's mother's house, which was not really far, and only during weekends we spent time. I thought, what's the point of having children if we can't really see them grow up? In fact, it is someone else. At least in my case, it was my auntie, my mother-in-law. She's also my auntie. But sometimes, some of you have babysitters who watch your children grow up. You miss those precious moments when they take their first step, when they utter the first words. The parents never get to see those things, but the babysitters have got to tell the father and the mother, you know what your baby did today? We miss all those moments. So I decided that I wanted to take care of my son, and when he was about 8 months old, I got into the AMWAY business. That was in September 1978. I got into the business first because, as what Stone said just now, he was very much interested. He was all involved in the insurance business. There's nothing like insurance. Well, today it's the reverse. He says there's nothing like AMWAY. Since he was so keenly involved in the insurance business, he didn't want to have anything to do with the AMWAY business. But although he was not involved, he gave me moral support in the sense that he came with me for the meetings, he came with me for my sales, and I remember that week, in 1 week, we sold about $480 worth of products out of sheer excitement. In fact, we started off, we were not really rich when we started the business, and we were not really broke. Well, we were broke to a certain extent because we had $53 for the kit, and we bought 3 products, SA8, LOC, and metal cleaner. And with this, we started the business. Oh, sorry, I started the business. And I started the business. But of course, being a good husband, he came along with me, you know, to make sure that I didn't go astray. Okay, so we did the business, and like I said, he used to come for the meetings, so we had our upline since our sponsor, that is Janet Stone's sister, and our upline, another sister of Stone, Teresa and Chandra Nair. They were also new in the business, so we went up to our upline DD, Dr. Jerry and Angela, for help. Double Diamonds, Dr. Jerry and Angela. We used, if I'm not mistaken, at that time they were Pearl Directs. And although they were Pearl Directs, we really admired their lifestyle. Now I can imagine, for instance, this afternoon, some of the distributors had come from outstation. They came to Pan Pacific, where we were staying just now. They came in the afternoon, and they were, you know, some of them commented, oh, it's so great to be a diamond. And I was just telling Stone, do you know, when we started the business, what we talked about, Jerry and Angela, they were Pearl Directs, and we were so excited, it's great to be a Pearl. So likewise, you know, many of you out there would feel it's great to be a diamond. I can tell you, it's really great. But then, of course, we are not going to rest here. We are going to work for Crown Ambassador, okay? Like I said, we went to Dr. Jerry and Angela's house for meetings, and I remember, among other meetings, once Jerry and Angela had a cookware demonstration, and as usual, Stone followed me. You know, he had to send me up there because Jerry and Angela lived up on the hill, UK Heights. We had to go up there, so he came along. And as we were watching the cookware demonstration, Stone was busily engaged in a conversation with Dr. Jerry. Well, I really don't know what took place. I think Stone will share that with you later. But one thing I remember, as we came back after the meeting, Stone told me, I too want to do the business. I was really shocked. What is it? What is it that really turned him on? Well, that Stone will share with you. Anyway, the next day he wrote a letter to AMWAY saying that he wanted to be my business partner and also my lifetime partner. Okay, from then on we started building the business together. Since Stone was in insurance, he had a wide circle of friends. I remember when I first got married, Mel, I come from Kluang, Johor. It's a very small town, but very friendly people. People, even strangers, they say hello to you. So when I came to KL, I didn't like the people here. They were so unfriendly. They stared at you, you know. They did not even see, as if you never existed. You know, when we first started, when I started going for work in KL, we didn't have transport, so I had to take the bus. And I stand at the bus stop, and they don't even know that a person is standing right in front of them. Unlike in Kluang, people don't know you, they say hello. So I told Stone, I don't like the people in KL, But very soon I got used to it, and I found Stone had so many friends. Wherever he went, he had saying hello to everybody. People knew him, so it was relatively easy for us to sponsor people into the business. We went and saw all our friends. But of course, it's easy in the sense we had a wide circle of friends, but many of the people whom we thought would join us in the business said no. And many of them even called Stone the soap salesman, And some of, not forgetting my late father, he was also not very happy when I got into the business, especially when I resigned from my job. 2 months after I got into the business, I resigned from my job, went into the business more or less, not to say full-time, part-time, part-time to spend with my child and also to build up the business. Well, in fact, I didn't tell Stone that I was resigning from my job. One morning, as we got dressed for work, he asked me, "Why aren't you getting ready for work?" I said, "I just resigned." He was shocked. She said, "What? We don't have enough income and you have resigned from the job." And very coolly, I told him, "I will continue with the AMWAY business." Of course. Of course, I didn't know what really AMWAY offered me because I still new, but I knew one thing, it was blind faith. As they say, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So in blind faith, we did the business. We had complete trust in our sponsor, we had complete trust in our upline, we had complete trust in our DDs, Dr. Jerry and Angela. So those of you out there who are coming here for the first time, you may not know what your friends are inviting you here for, but I can assure you it's something good. It's something wonderful. Don't run away from it. Grab this golden opportunity. Get into it. Don't sit on the sideline and think what this business is all about, what it's going to offer. I can assure you, after being in the business for 11 years, it's a great business, it's a wonderful business, and all good things that you hope for in life. Anything that you want. Unlimited income, financial security, positive friends, travel, everything comes with the AMWAY business. So I'd urge you, some of you came here not knowing what we are going to, not knowing what we have here. Some of you came out of curiosity. Your friends have used the curiosity approach. Don't be annoyed with them. Love them for bringing you here tonight. Okay? And getting back to my story, we found that we sponsored a lot of people and our business really grew. We moved from 3% to 6% and eventually we moved up to 15%. But it was really good being 15%ers. And then, of course, we had our ups and downs in the business. It was not smooth. It's not a bed of roses. The AMWAY business is a very simple business, but it calls for time. It calls for effort. You have got to put in the work. You want results, you have got to put in the work, and definitely you'll be rewarded. So we had our ups and downs in the business. We did not stay at 15% all the time. We dropped because, well, Stone will tell you the reason why we dropped. Anyway, we dropped down. We dropped down, we came sliding down to 6%, but not below 6% because although our business dropped, what really kept us going was our personal sales. We never failed to do not less than 1,000 PV a month. Our retail profit, that motivated us. So in spite of all the challenges, that really kept us going. But apart from that, when our business was going down, I too, well, I must admit, I became a bit negative because by this time, Stone had already given up insurance for good. He had said bye-bye to insurance, and he was full-time in the AMWAY business, and here I was, I had given up my job, so there's no other source of income, it was only the AMWAY income. And can you imagine, at 6%, we had a child, my son Atherton, who is just seated there. All my 4 beautiful sons are seated out there, just behind the diamonds. I had my son Atherton to support, and no, we had not enough money, but still we kept on. And sometimes we didn't have enough money to order products, so we were thinking what to do. And I remember my sister, Teresa, she's somewhere here among the crowd. Well, she was staying with me at that time. She was single. She was not married then. I remember I used several times. I borrowed money from her. I told her I just want to buy the products. And as soon as I got the products, my distributors collected the products and I immediately returned the money to her because she trusted me. I didn't borrow money and wait for ages to return. As soon as the products were sold, I returned the money. And many occasions I did that, and really my heartfelt thanks to my sister Teresa. She knows all the challenges we went through because she lived with me for many years before she got married. And when the day that she heard we made diamond, she was so happy. She called me on the phone. She said, really, so happy, you really deserve it. Okay, so as I said, we had our ups and downs in the business. So our business came down to 6%. I became negative, and I even told Stone at one point, why don't you go back to insurance? It's very bad, isn't it, for a diamond to say that? Well, an upcoming diamond to say that. I said, why don't you go back into insurance and we'll just do AMWAY on a part-time. But I must thank Stone for it. I've got a wonderful, positive husband. He's very adamant. He's very, very positive. No matter what challenges he goes through, he always tells me, think positive. Things will work out well. All things are possible if you believe. Every time he tells me that, I cannot say anything negative to him. And sure enough, he did not waver. He knew this business will work given time. As what Rich DeVos said, this business will work given time. And he said, no, it will work. And definitely we kept on. In spite of that, no choice but to tag along with him. We did the business. Although some people dropped from the business, resigned, we sponsored new people into the business. And I remember in December 1979, we are still 6%. In January 1980, we are still 6%. But we are bringing new people into the business. We sponsored new people because this business revolves around you. You want to become successful, you have got to make it happen. You are the pace setter in the business. No one else can make you successful. Even Rich DeVos can't make you successful. Your sponsor cannot make you successful. They can only show you the way to success, but it all depends on you. So we decided to bring new people into the business, and from January 1980, we are 6%. In February 1980, we moved up to 15%. In March 1980, we moved up to 21%. In March 1980, we hit silver producer, and we maintained for 3 straight months, and April and May, we qualified as direct distributors. May 1980, we qualified as direct distributors. Okay, we are really indeed glad, and well, this time we are a bit comfortable. The money was, well, it was better than what we had gone through earlier, because I remember in the early days, when we moved into our house, at first we were staying, when we got married, we were staying in one, we just rented one room. It was just the 2 of us. When my first son came, 3 of us crammed in one room, and we found it very inconvenient, so we moved to a double-story house, knowing very well that we couldn't afford. But do you know what I did? I rented out 2 rooms, let it out to tenants. So I had people staying there and paid off for the rent. And sometimes when the people say I'm leaving end of the month, we are frantically putting out advertisements in the papers looking for new tenants. That's how we went through, and sometimes we couldn't really make the rent. We used to tell the landlord, let's be patient, we'll definitely pay you. But one thing for sure, we paid him all the rent. And right now we are staying in a different house altogether. Okay, we went through all the challenges, but in spite of that, we still kept up. We qualified as direct distributors, and we saw that the money was good. And through all those difficult times, remember, at one point when we moved into the double-story house, those big French windows, we didn't have any curtains, and especially at night, people can just see inside, big French windows, they can see through what's happening inside. And, well, I mean in the living room, not in the rooms, in the living room.
Cheeky.
In the living room. And we didn't have a fridge. Sometimes I used to be so embarrassed. We didn't have a refrigerator. Sometimes distributors come in the afternoon to collect products, and they say, Violet, can I have a glass of cold water, please? I said, oh, sorry, I don't have cold water. How could I tell them I don't have a refrigerator in my house? I didn't have a TV. Well, all this really embarrassed us. I was very embarrassed. Why should we go through life like this? Is this what life is all about? Is this why we got married? To have children and not give them all the comfortable things, give excuses to ourselves? We must change for the better. And that's what all this beautiful business is about. This AMWAY business can change your life for the better. You don't have to settle for mediocrity. You can strive for excellence. So we did just that. We did just that, and after qualifying as direct distributor in May 1980, we worked harder, and in August, of course, we sponsored a lot of people, and one of them, in August 1980, we qualified as Ruby Directs. And in the same month, we qualified as Ruby Directs. We also broke off a silver producer, Tan Kasim. Okay? And that is the line which is now that same leg, our first silver producer, we broke that first silver, and that is the line which has gone to Taiwan, our international leg. So your past efforts are never wasted. So whatever time and effort you put into the business doesn't go wasted. So we qualified as Ruby and broke off a silver producer, and we kept on the momentum. The momentum was good, and most important is when the momentum is there, keep on growing, don't quit. So we kept up the momentum, and exactly 6 months later, because so many pin levels, yes, in February 1981, we qualified as Pearl Directs. Pearl Directs. One of them was Tan Kasim. The other one was none other than Stone's brother Titus. Well, at that time he was not married, so Anne was not involved in the business. And another one was Titus, sorry, now he's Emerald Direct, Titus and Anne. And then another one is a couple from Batu Pahat. I sponsored my brother Clement and his wife Agnes, and they sponsored a couple, Rukumani and Ramachandran, and they were a third Pearl League. So we qualified as, in February 81 as Pearl Directs, and exactly 6 months later in July, am I counting right? Yes? Yeah, July, we qualified as Emerald Directs. July 1981, we qualified as Emerald Directs. Well, we were very happy. We are really glad. You know, all the things that we hoped for, the income was good. Anything that he wanted to buy was good. I remember just a few, I think sometime during Christmas time last year, we went around, shopping, and I was looking at some carpets, some new carpets, and there were some carpets were about $1,000 over, and I was telling Stone, it's quite cheap. Because I remember when I first bought my first carpet, it was about $100 over. I said, it's very expensive, And here it is $1,000. I say it's cheap because when you have the money, everything is cheap, isn't it? Huh? Okay. Okay. So we moved on to Emerald, and at that time, we didn't really hear of much diamonds. Diamond was not the in thing. So we settled for Emerald. Because that is an immediate goal. The momentum was good. Many new people were coming to the business. We had 18%ers, other 18%ers, and 15%ers. But then what we decided to do, that was a very, fatal mistake on our part. We decided to take a rest, take a break. Take a break in the sense that, of course, we had our center meetings. Every Tuesday we had our center meetings. We're not really so involved in, working with people. At times we used to sit at home and say, what do we do now? We forgot what it is that took us to Emerald because the money was good. So we sat on an Emerald pin for 7 years, 7 long years, and the pin was already getting rusty. The Emerald pin is already getting rusty, so we decided, and everybody is qualifying as diamonds. There were so many diamonds, and diamond was the in thing. I remember when we go out and talk to people, to some of our friends, they do not know what diamond is. They really don't understand what's a diamond, but they just ask you, are you a diamond? And we ask them, do you know what's a diamond? I don't know. It's something, everybody talks about being a diamond. So diamond was the in thing, and we had the diamond fever in us. So we decided that we have to go and work hard at becoming a diamond. So we went all out, brought in new legs, we really worked with them. Many times we worked hard, but then the diamond pin just slipped by. Even the last fiscal year, we worked so hard, but then it didn't materialize. Just 1 month, we missed by 1 month. But never mind, perhaps we didn't work hard enough. So we decided we put in extra effort, and we worked, and just in April '89, we qualified as Diamond Directs. Well, indeed, this business has really given us a lot. This really changed our lives for the better. This enriched our lives in spite of the many challenges that we have faced. This really enriched our lives for the better. We are a close-knit family, and my four sons, Well, because now that they're school going, we take them out during the school holidays. I remember when they were still small, wherever we used to go, I used to pack them all into the car, bag and baggage, including children. You know, that's the song Traveling Light, isn't it? But in our case, we're not traveling light. We're traveling with all the 4 kids and bag and baggage. And wherever we went, you know, people used to sort of sympathize with us. Oh, we feel so sorry for you with all the children tagging along. Well, they didn't know that we're enjoying life. You know, so people from the outside may think you're struggling to do the business. I remember when I was expecting my second son, Ayn, that at that point of time we were at 15%. And remember, I still used to go for the meetings even until the last stage of pregnancy. And many of the distributors, especially the women, they used to tell Stone, true, I'm not just pulling a fast one. You said, many of them tell Stone, why are you so cruel to your wife? Why don't you let her rest at home? You know, she should be resting at home instead of you tagging along everywhere. But they fail to realize that we are building this business for our future as well as the future of our children. Well, if I was working elsewhere, do you think my boss is going to give me leave? Oh, you're pregnant, poor Violet, you stay at home. Until your confinement is over, after 9 months, you can come back to work. Is he going to do that? No. Rain or sunshine, I have to go to work. But why is it? Why is it people always give excuse? If you're in the AMWAY business and you're pregnant, oh, my wife is pregnant, she can't come for the meetings, and the husband also gets pregnant along with the wife. The husband gets morning sickness, I can't come because my wife is pregnant, and they also stay at home until the 9 months. But will you do that when your wife is working in a company? No, you wouldn't dare do that because you have to receive the paycheck. But because the AMWAY business is your own business, you can do it at your own pace, you give excuses. You're actually giving excuses to yourself. You're saying no to the wonderful future for your child. You're saying no to overseas education for your children. You're saying no to all the overseas holiday resorts for your children. You just want to take them to PD, just want to take them to Genting Highlands. That's all you can afford for your children. Well, we would have done that. We used to do that. At one time, holidays, we just go to Port Dickson, and that was our holidays. But now it's different. We have promised our children, because when we are going for Diamond, we told them, we qualify as Diamond, and we are going to take you to Disneyland. No? I remember we made that promise to our children about 2 years ago. And they know, Diamond means that your photograph would appear on the front page. At that time, they always used to ask, how is it your photographs are not on the front page? We want to go to Disneyland, you know? And sure enough, now they'll see it. And we have got to keep to that promise. We'll definitely take them. So you must remember, especially those married people out there, this business is a business for married people as well as singles. Even singles can do the business very well. And especially married people, you've got a responsibility towards your children. You're bringing a new life to the world, and you owe it to your children. I'm sure you don't want to give excuses when you see your neighbor, your child tells you, Mommy, my friend's parents have gone overseas to Hawaii for the Diamond Forum. Why didn't you go, Mommy? Oh, it's because of you. I had to take care of you. I couldn't go for the meetings. I couldn't do the AMWAY business because of you. Are you going to blame it on your children? I'm sure you don't want to do that. You know, so we are responsible for bringing our children into the world. Why not give them the best? Why settle for less? This business gives the best. It gives all the things that you're looking for in life. It all comes as a package deal in the AMWAY business. Really want to enjoy all the good things in life? Take advantage of this opportunity. We missed this opportunity in 1976 when Alfred Hendroff first introduced the stone, and only in 78, late 78, we came into the business, but it's never too late. But I can assure you, all of you out there, don't think the market is saturated. The market is still fresh. There's still lots of room. There's plenty of room at the top. There's plenty of room for more diamonds. Maybe at the bottom it's crowded. We had many of our downline DDs, as we saw some DDs came up on stage. Many of them, they have done it, qualified as DDs in 7 months, in 6 months. If they can do it, you can do it too. Don't you think so? So, I know sometimes this business sounds too good to be true, but many of us, you know, sometimes when we come here wanting to believe what the speakers got to share with us, wanting to believe your friend, but sometimes it doesn't materialize. But like I said earlier, just stick on to your friend who has brought you here in blind faith. Have faith in him. The very fact that he brought you here, he has thought about you, shows that he knows that you're an important person. So even if you decide not to do the business, at least say thank you to your friend for inviting you. But I'm sure, all of you are wise people. Huh? I'm sure you'll make a wise decision, like what Liu Man was getting, crowning glory. You'll make a wise decision and come to the wonderful world of AMWAY. With that, I pass you over to Stone. Yeah? Okay. Anyway, before I pass you over to Stone, first of all, I'd like to thank God for giving us life, bringing us into this world. I'd like to thank our parents. Well, Stone's parents are seated there. And of course, my late father and my mother, who's not able to come here, she's too old. We'd like to thank them for bringing us into the world. We really thank God for it. And we'd like to thank Rich and Jay, these two beautiful people who gave us this golden opportunity. I remember when last month we went to the States. We went for the 30th anniversary celebrations to the States. We also went to the headquarters, Ada, and we represented AMWAY Malaysia because we are the new diamonds, qualified diamonds, so we called up on stage to introduce ourselves. And when we are seated in the front row, Rich DeWalt and Jay Van Andel were just a few seats away from us, about 2 seats away from us. And when I looked at Jay Van Andel, I just couldn't help, I was just really moved to tears. Because he was such a loving, fatherly figure. Well, I have lost my father. And he looked, such a loving father. I was moved to tears. And to just think, because of these two beautiful people, all these things are possible. Because of these two people, we are all seated here. Because of these two people, we have moved up to diamond. We can afford all the good things in life. Okay, so I'd really like to thank Rich and Jay from the bottom of our hearts, and not forgetting our sponsor, the Stone sister Janet, for introducing this business to us. Thank you, Janet. And also our upline. And upline, another sister of Stones, Teresa and Chandra Nair, and also our upline Didi, double diamond directs, Dr. Jerry and Angela De Silva. Dr. Jerry and Angela De Silva has been a constant source of motivation for us. In fact, we worked very closely with them, and they treated us as their frontline distributors. In fact, for any of their Christmas functions, we were there. Even last December, they had a Christmas dinner. They invited us to Selangor Club. So they treated us as their frontline because we really had a lot of help and motivation from them. And one thing which really spurred us on to become diamond was the postcards which Jerry and Angela never failed to send us. Each time they went for the Diamond Forum, we always received a postcard motivating us. We hope to see you there, make it soon. And that really spurred us on to becoming diamonds. So I'd like to thank Dr. Jerry and Angela for the constant source of motivation they have given us. And we'd also like to thank all of you for coming here tonight, taking time to come here tonight to hear a success story. And I'd love to congratulate all our distributors in our organization, all our DDs, our distributors, and also our distributors in Taiwan. We congratulate them for having reached their respective levels of achievement, and and for sure they will move on to higher levels. Thank you.
How was it? All right, huh? Okay, our story, I think Violet shared some of the story. Now, I like to share a little bit of the challenges we went through in building this business. In fact, as we said, 1976 was the time we got into business, and our business was built on faith, struggle, and victory. At last, we made it. Some people it takes you 11 years to become a diamond. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it takes 20 years. So what? At least we are diamonds, right? Ask yourselves, 11 years, where have you been working? Are you satisfied with your income? No. So that is the difference. That is the difference. You see, in the AMWAY business, it doesn't matter how long you are in the business. It just means that if you have faith, commitment, and belief, you can make it even to Crown Ambassador. You don't have to stop only at Diamond. Now, as Violet was saying, the turning point in our life was when we went to visit Jerry and Angela when they had a cookware demonstration. I sat in Jerry's house, and while the ladies were doing the cooking, Jerry and I had a long chat. And the chats revolved around so many things. Because I got in the insurance business because I wanted to make a lot of money. I come up from a family of 11 children. And when there's 11 people in the family, you know you have a lot, isn't it? you have enough, but not enough, right? So we wanted a little bit more. That is why I went into the sales line. First, I got into selling encyclopedias, which was initially you make some money, but every time they always say, when the time comes for the check to be given, the director didn't sign. So you got to wait for the next week. They only pay on Mondays. So if the first Monday didn't sign, you wait for the next Monday. Next Monday didn't sign, third Monday. So that was how they used to play a game with us. So because of that, I eventually got rid of that company and went to the insurance business. The insurance business said, you can sell some products, sell some policies, and then what happens? You got renewals. So at least you got some money. Even if you're sick, you still have some money. But what I didn't realize is that the money doesn't come regularly. It goes boom if you stop. Isn't it? So eventually, when Jerry was talking about the AMWAY business, I thought probably I should get into this business because he talked to me about lifetime income, security, free travel, all the diamonds we're achieving overseas. So that was when he opened my eyes. I started to dream. And when Jerry opens his eyes, have you seen Jerry opening his eyes? From this much, it starts going like that. Your eyes also will follow like that. True or not? Huh? So that is how I said with Jerry. And after talking to him for, I think, about 3-4 hours, on the way back, I told Violet, maybe I think she should take a serious look at this business now. So what I did was, a few days later, I went and bought the book called The Possible Dream. Now, for those of you who are contemplating on this business, thinking whether to do it or not, my suggestion, I'd urge all of you to get The Possible Dream. It's a fantastic book. That was the book which opened my eyes to AMWAY. In fact, I believe that was the same book which caused Titus to resign from his job and do AMWAY full-time. So in that book, I read about people like Jim and Sharon Jens, Art and Ollie Charlton, Charlie and Elsie Marsh. These people had nothing. Frankly, they had nothing. But only one thing they had, a deep sense of belief in what they were doing. So we thought to ourselves, maybe I should do the business. So that's how Violet said, I wrote a letter, and I got in the business. In the first month, we sponsored a lot of people. I used to sponsor people very easy. You know what I used to do? Carry metal cleaner. Walk around town. You know, if you saw Muhammad Ali in the movie when he was fighting with Sonny Liston, he used to carry a jar of honey and look for the bear. I used to carry a metal cleaner and look for prospects. And I do a prospect demo, and then when they're interested, sign them up. So very easy to sign people up. Sponsored people, very fast. Sponsoring people, but sponsoring spree. We didn't know how to work in depth. So in spite of that, because of the numbers, we managed to move up to 15%. In the meantime, I had a car. When I was doing insurance, I had a car, but within the first 2 months, the car gave up on us. It decided to sleep. So we couldn't afford to change the car because by then I already resigned from the AMWAY business. Not AMWAY business, insurance business. Words are getting confused. Okay, now both come together, same, huh? Okay, anyway, we decided to resign from the insurance business, and now we're doing full-time. And you know, insurance money, although you make a lot of money, but when the minute you stop, it's down very fast. To go up is very hard, but coming down is fantastically fast. Faster than Zoom. Anyway, we got in. Now we had to do the business. Walking. Building the business with pure legwork. Walk wagon, they call it. So we built it up and sponsored a lot of people, and we moved up to 15%. And during that time, we had meetings in our home. We had meetings in our home in Ampang Jaya. So Ampang Jaya was virtually unknown there. is always beside Uluk Lang. So people, when we invite prospects, they say, Uluk Lang, Ampang Jaya, near the zoo, I think, where the monkeys are. So many people refused to come. You know, they didn't. And I had to draw diagrams to tell them where the house was. In spite of that, people didn't come. First meeting, no one came. Second meeting, still no one came. We cleaned the house clean. We had a help with us then. He kept the house clean, and they say, Anna, why? Your house, no one coming. Uncle Jerry's house, lot of people coming. Never mind. Kept on doing. After 4 or 5 meetings, we thought, Ampang Jaya too far. Let's go to town, center of town. Maybe there people will come. Actually, it's a problem with attitude, isn't it? It's our own attitude. The greatest difficulty we face in life is changing our own attitude. Someone once said, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering the attitude of mind. And changing the attitude was tough. So we thought, Ampang Jaya is far, so we went to Merlin Hotel. We had meetings there. And I remember the first meeting we had, invited a lot of people, put ads in the newspaper, and call everyone who I know, come on, Merlin, where is central location? So we booked the place. That time I think we took one room, was about $35. In that time it was quite a lot of money for us because we didn't have money to eat also. Anyway, we had the meeting. And we waited 8 o'clock. No one came. 8:15, we saw someone passing by. We thought he's coming, but it was actually the bellboy. So out. So 8:30, 9 o'clock. We booked it for 1.5 hours. So by 9:45, the boy came and said, how's the meeting? Finished so fast. Not even the shadow came. But anyway, we said no. First meeting, maybe not. Maybe second meeting can. So second meeting we had. Still no one. Third meeting, you know, we don't have money, $35, a lot of money. And that point of time, there were 4 of us, myself and 3 other distributors joined together and have the meeting. But we said, never mind, we'll keep on. We started telling them, never mind, give time, we'll work. Third, fourth meeting. And that time we had about 35 people in our group, 35 to 40. And I used to think to myself, the front line I sponsored about 20. If only the front line come enough. Their shadows also never came. But anyway, we kept on building. No worry, we'll sell. And then one by one, those fellas thought, I think this business very tough lah. We better think another business. So one by one they gave up. But we never gave up because we knew that this business will work. I remember when Rich DeVos came here in 1978, he told a story about AMWAY getting into UK. And when he said about AMWAY getting into UK, he said they pumped in $2 million US to get it working up, but it didn't work. So the people at the warehouse in Ada were telling, let's pull out of UK, maybe it doesn't work. But Rich and Jay said, this plan will work given time. So I believe that statement very strongly. I believe if Rich and Jay says that, yes. So as we kept on building the meeting, I think about 8 meetings, now only myself alone. All the other 3 bunkus already. So they said goodbye. So we kept on going. So I said, no, it will work. And then I saw one of those days, someone came into the house, came into the meeting and asked me, hey, there's a meeting to make money. Where is it? Here, I remember coming with a helmet. And, you know? So I said, here. He looked in. No one. I said, no, you are the first one. It's already 9:30, you know. Still, you are the first one. Don't worry. I'll show you the plan. So, showed the plan. 9:30, we start showing the plan nicely, and after that, told him, very good business. He said, good business. I'll go back and think. Now, all of you get that, isn't it? Huh? All of you, familiar story, right? So, I'll go back and think. So, I said, okay, think. I said, you give me a phone number, I'll call you, and then we'll follow up again. He said, no, when ready, I'll call you. You don't have to call me. So, I said, okay. Since he's adamant, I said, okay. So, that's it. So, he went. And I always was to wonder who this guy is. I always used to wonder who, because he just came in and just a stranger came in and just walked off. But one day I was sitting in the warehouse. That time we already qualified DDs, and we're sitting in the warehouse in the Sinchu Jitpo canteen. And this guy comes up to me. You know, you were the one having meeting in Merlin. I said, yeah. You know, one person came and showed a plan. I said, yeah, it's you. Yeah, it's me. He's none other than D.D. Segar. Some of you know him. Today, he's in the business with Titus, and although he has not joined me frontline, but he's also come into our downline. So anyway, the story goes, and after the 7th, 8th meeting, no one came, we still kept on. And I remember one time Jerry said, I think you must be forcing people to join the business. How many arms did you twist? I said, no one's arm. I said, if Charlie Marsh, if you listen to the Possible Dream, Charlie Marsh held meetings for 31 straight meetings and no one came. So I told Jerry, if Charlie Marsh can go 31 straight meetings and no one can come, I will go 31 meetings. Violet and I will go 31 meetings, and then we will see if, because Charlie Marsh, after 31 meetings, persisting, he became the first crown in the whole world of AMWAY, isn't it? So his story was a lot of, carries a lot of meaning. So somewhere along the 15th, somewhere along the 12th or 14th meeting, suddenly on the last, I think the second last week of December in 1979, the room was full, at least half full. We had about 12 people from nowhere. You throw seeds, sometimes they sprout, sometimes they don't. But then 12 weeks later, it took a long time to grow, but 12 weeks later, some people came in. And then business started coming in. People started coming, and now we found the business growing. And that first month, the next month was January. As Violet said, we hit 6%. Our group meetings were growing on now, and meetings started filling up. And this time, we didn't have transport also. We didn't have any transport. I used to carry products from the warehouse. One bag, one hand briefcase, and another bag, a carton of S8. My hip here, the bone, I used to rest it here and walk. Sometimes got pain also even now. But anyway, that's how we build. Sometimes you struggle. People say don't have transport. That is not an excuse. You got legs, that is good enough transport. Legs plus a good attitude, that is the best transport you get. So, we used our legs, God-given transport, and we built. And we built the business, and slowly the room started expanding. From one room, not enough, we had a second room meeting. And that time, as a business, a struggling period, I remember Titus telling me, don't get into this business. This business cannot be done. You know why? 2 years before, he got into the business and resigned. So when I got in, he said, you must be a next nut to get inside and get out. But when we started building the business, when we hit 21%, I think his mind started changing. Then he believed, probably this business can work. So we had a lot of challenges, especially when I was working in insurance, people used to tell, you're making good money, why you go for this? Not good money. In fact, in insurance, those guys, some of them make money, but 95% of them, necktie, collar, pocket, no dollar. That is your philosophy. So I was there, so I know, So I'm speaking from this other side now. Anyway, those guys were like that. And they have they said, don't go. This is a soap business, selling soap, what you can do. We are protecting a person's life, But what they don't know, there's a lot of hope. In this business, you not only protect a person's life, you enrich a person's family, isn't it? For generations to come. That is the beauty in this business, where they don't realize it. They only can look at the soap and put their mind on the soap. Even one of them used to clown, and at their meetings they say, Stoner, he carried S8 from one car to another, in the clowning. That's the type of characters they are there. But anyway, we never listened to them. We built it. Second month, we hit silver. And in the first month in March, we hit silver. Yeah, silver in March 1980. And our volume was about 13,000 something. But in the second month, last 4 days before the end of the month, our volume was somewhere around 4,000. I was scared. I was worried whether this business can be done now or can maintain or not. When the second month, last 4 days, only 4,000, you got 8,000 more to go, you have something to think, isn't it? So I was wondering what to do. So that's the time I met one direct distributor, Tommy Ho. He's in Chan Kuntin's group. I met him, and I was talking to him what to do. Then he told me, you go and work this way, that way, and all that. So I followed his advice. And the second month, in 4 days, we brought in 8,000 plus volume. And we crossed 13,000 PV. So I don't know, Tommy Ho is here. Thank you, Tommy. Tommy Ho, huh? Then third month, it was easy. We went above 13,000 and above, and we maintained our business, built our business. Then as we kept on building, we broke off our first DD. That was Tan Kasim, and we hit Ruby Direct. That month was the first time, after hitting Ruby, not after hitting DD, only after hitting Ruby, I bought a car, a Mercedes-Benz, not the brand new one, a ramshackle one. But at least now it's better than nothing, isn't it? Better than walking. At least now we can travel a little bit more comfortably, go to the warehouse, collect products. I don't have to carry it and walk and lug it around the taxi, buses, and things like that. So we did it. And during that time, we sponsored several people. There were a few people in the business where we had, and Merlin was getting too expensive now from 2 rooms, each room costing about $35. They decided to increase the rent to $69. And we said, if $69 per room for 2 rooms will come to about $135, we might as well take up a center. So we took up a center in Jalan Ampang. Some of you who know about the place. And we had meetings there. And we used to deliver products from the center. Especially on the last day, I had to carry my car full of products and deliver the products. And that time, especially on the last day, your boot is full of products. So all the distributors will come and collect the products after meeting. And they collect the products and go, now your boot is empty, pocket full of money. Good for extortionists, isn't it? So in fact, on 2 occasions, there were a few people who were very shady characters who came, so Violet and I decided we better move back to our house. We started doing the business, we start delivering from there. And because of that, that decision cost us a few legs going down. Some fellow said, oh, I'm coming all the way from Kepong, must come to Ampang Jaya, must take 2 buses. I think I don't want. One of my 18% legs went off, completely gone to the ash. Then another 15%, in fact, 2 18% and 1 15. But we never quit. If they quit, that is their problem, isn't it? We are still making it happen. You are still making it happen, right? You are the pace setter, as Violet said. You are the magic. You make things happen. So we decided that we are the magic. And when these people left us, we had a few people in the meeting, and slowly, one by one, disappeared. And that time, we already qualified as Emerald. And I remember on one occasion, one of my friend, who I offered him the business when he was in Kluang then, called me up and said, I want to do the business now. Are you still inside? I said, yes. So he came for the meeting, and he came with his wife and his cousin, his wife's cousin. The 3 of them and us. And they thought Emerald means must be full of people. You know how many people were there? 3 plus 2, 5. That's all. He thought he came to the wrong place. Yeah? But we said, no, never mind. I told him, his name is Ravi. I told him, Ravi and Princey, maybe they are around here. And I told him, Ravi, don't worry. Within 3 months, I'll fill up this place. Because I knew, if I have to fill up the place, only I can do it. If you want to fill up your business, only you can do it, isn't it? You cannot count on your people to do anything. You only can do it. So within 2.5 months, I think less than 2 months, we filled up the place again. And we broke off another DD. And sometimes our DDs, I don't know why, they come in and they go out. Come in and they go out. Someone said, you know, tough times never last. Tough people do, isn't it? Are you all tough? Mentally tough? Or physically tough? Mentally or physically? Mentally, yeah? Mentally tough, right. You must be mentally tough. A lot of people I know I sponsored, physically brawn, but size like pygmy size brain. Okay. Anyway, so we sponsored these people, and few of them disappeared. DDs came in, DDs went out, but we never gave up. But Ravi kept on building the business, and he sponsored a distributor, a few distributors, and down the line comes one active distributor, that is Alphonse and Jiva. Today they are gold directs, Alphonse and Jiva. Then after Alphonse and Jiva, we worked with him. This time we know how to work in depth. Sometimes the DDs went off because we did not know how to work in depth. We always hear the word, work in depth, but don't know how to work in depth. Now we know, how to go down. So we worked down. So by the time Titus already qualified as a DD, and so the 4th leg was coming up. So Alphonse qualified as a DD, and we went out and worked in Sungai Petani with Dr. Joe and helped him to become a DD, and he's also another gold direct and built up 2 other DDs. Then we also broke off. As we were building, Violet's brother sponsored another couple in Kluang, Zalahuddin and Norida. They are here today. And they also qualified as DDs, and they worked, and we worked with them, and they sponsored another DD called Nosia Kasim. And some of you would have seen her here. When I first saw Nosia Kasim, she was like this. She's still like this. I thought, she'll fall off. But that lady, still hard inside. So someone, you always don't prejudge people by their size. And this lady worked very hard, traveled here and there, north and south. Anyway, she has sponsored another dynamic couple, sponsored a brother-in-law and sister, Baka and Khatija. They also qualified as DDs, gold DDs. Then they sponsored another dynamic couple, aggressive fella, Sulaiman, who's also a gold DD now, Sulaiman and Sarifa. So this became our legs. But in the process, building up these legs, we lost, let's see how many? 1, 2, 3 DD legs, 2 18% legs, 1 15%, but never quit, isn't it? You still have to wait. If your dreams are there, you still can make it. You must hold on to your dreams. J. Vanel said, hold fast to your dreams. For if dreams die, life is like a broken winged bird that cannot fly. You know that. So you must hold fast to your dreams. So this really broke off. And then as we were building, we had another couple, somewhere earlier we sponsored, was my sister and her brother-in-law, John and Rose Thomas. And they came into the business and they built the business, sponsored another dynamic distributor, Sega, who sponsored another dynamic distributor. All of you heard of them, Pereira and Janaki. Today, Pereira is an emerald, Titus is an emerald, and Pereira sponsored another dashing young man. You've seen him. First when he joined, he was like this. Today he looks like a bear. Ravi and Padma, Emerald Direct. Then he sponsored his brother Manirajan, who's always all over town. He doesn't know how to stand still. When he stands also, he goes like that. You know? So that is Manirajan. Today is in Pearl Direct. And from that whole group, there's a lot of DDs. I'm sure all of you heard of them. Great people. They'll be guest speakers very soon. And some of our downlines today, they see them receiving their pins. Now, when we first started in 1978, there were hardly any Indians. We never thought. People never thought Indians can do it. But today, I think it is no longer true, isn't it? Today, they make it happen. So if they can do it, others also can do it. All right, where did I go now? Long story, 11 years story to put in short way. Anyway, so we sponsored them, and then also we sponsored another couple. Let me see, let's run. Oh, one guy, there's another guy I sponsored. His name is Murugaya. And that time he was not married, but now he's married. His wife's name, I think, is Regina. Okay, Muru and Regina. And we sponsored them. And Muru was a great guy, very nice guy. Very friendly guy. He always will smile. They should call him for Pepsodent advertisement. Anyway, he came into the business and he worked for a little while and then he disappeared. He got other business. So for 3 years or 4 years, he didn't do nothing. Maybe he bought one asset a year, one asset a year, not a month. One asset a year, maybe one sweet shot a year, you know, off and on. But he kept on renewing because he knew one day this business will work. So he came into the business, he came in and he did that. But 4 years later, I don't know, he called me and said, Stone, I think I want to do the business now. I want to do it. I said, sure, why not? Come, let's go. So got excited. In 2 weeks, he went out and sponsored a few people. And then after 2 weeks of activity, he sold about $700 in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of activity, he went to sleep again. The sleeping business. Huh? Anyway, but one thing out of that 2 weeks activity, he sponsored one bachelor, a dynamic guy, who didn't even know this business whether good or not. But he said, never mind, since Muru and Stone say, okay, we'll try. None other than Veerappan Perumal, alias Raju. So he built the business, and he was not sure. He was having a video shop, conventional business. He thought probably this business is not good. So one day I took him on a trip. After buying my car, I said, Raju, we must go north. So we went north to see our good friend, S.T. Palan. And we met him there, and Raju talked to him. And then on that trip, Raju was convinced that this business was good. And he built the business to Gold DD. He sponsored another couple, Lechiman and Kanageswari. I call them Bulldog. Okay. Okay, Lechiman and Kanages. In fact, Lechimanan and I were working together in the insurance business before. And I tried to get Lechiman in for 5 years. When every time I see him, he sees me, he disappears. I don't know how. He blends with the wall and disappears, just like Houdini. But 5 years later, don't know what makes him, he comes to business and he becomes a gold DD. And he sponsored another couple, Tamil Selvi and Chelaya. They will receive the pins today, another direct distributor. So you'll find that what I found in this business a few years ago, that today it's different. Many people talk about saturation. Not true. Now is the best time. Today is the best day to start the AMWAY business. When you leave today, sign up. Sometimes you might be thinking, it took 11 years for them to do it. But remember, after qualifying Emerald, we took a 2 years honeymoon, Emerald honeymoon. And that was the biggest tragedy in life, in our life. Because the momentum went, people started disappearing. But to build up the momentum took a lot of time. So if you are thinking that, don't worry. Build it up right to the highest. Build it up to whatever you want to go. And then also, our leg in Taiwan. It was initially sponsored in KL. It grew and went up to Taiwan. And today, the Taiwan group is also a direct distributor leg. So we have got few people there. Cha Boon Swin and Lim Si Lim. Wong Sai Kwan from Kuala Lumpur, he went to build a business there, and he built Chong Ki, Chong Kiu, and few others. And today, that leg is also a 21%. So with that 6 leg, in fact, that leg was the leg which qualified, and we became Diamond Directs in April, a few months ago. So that is how we build a business. So it's a struggle. A lot of things to share with you, but we don't have much time. So anyway, I would like to share with you a little bit on what the business meant to me. What the business meant to me. One of the great things this business meant is giving us freedom. You know, in this business, one of the best things is freedom. A lot of people talk about freedom, but that's all only a mouth. Not true. You're always answerable. When I was in insurance, they told me, the sky is the limit. You can go where you want to go. You don't have, you are your own boss. Oh, that's terrible. That's only a word. That doesn't have any meaning. Every time you got quota to fulfill. The minute you don't have a quota, you got a letter coming. So you are not your own boss. Someone else tells you what to do. Whereas in the AMWAY business, whether you do it or not, you decide. If you decide not to do, they are not going to send you a letter telling you're not doing anything. We are going to terminate you. Yes, so that was one thing. Here, nothing. Nothing tells you. We can get up when we like. Even a few years ago, at Emerald also, if we decided to quit, we could have quit. And the money will still be there. But not in other lines. You have to work. Another thing we find in this business is the unlimited income. The income is always going. Keep on coming. It doesn't stop. Your income, as you qualify higher levels, is all accumulative. Is A plus B plus C plus D. You know how much is that? A lot of money. And in AMWAY business, you can literally be a millionaire. Not a thousandaire. Millionaire. But to become a millionaire is not easy, isn't it? A millionaire is a special breed of person, a special type of person. And if you want to become a millionaire, you must have that quality. All of you have it, but some not willing to put it into action. Some are not willing to put. This is tough. Yes, the AMWAY business is tough because you got to help somebody to succeed. Whereas the conventional world, you don't have to help. You make use of others. You stamp on them and climb up. The AMWAY business, you help people. You work with them. Spend time with them. And then you come up. When the insurance is not like that. They recruit people, the insurance recruit people, and see what happens. Nothing happens, recruit some more. But in AMWAY, you work hard, you work deep, helping one by one to go down the line. A lot of difference. And many people cannot take that. That is why even I sponsor some insurance people, they say, tough lah. Of course, attitude wrong. So, huh? The AMWAY business will actually break you. You know, I always say, it'll break you and ask you to assemble yourself. You know, you got to put yourself up by your bootstraps. So the income is unlimited. And one thing about the AMWAY business, you know, the money keeps on coming on a regular basis. I told you my earlier line, when the check is not, the boss didn't sign, next Monday. The insurance is the same. The statement, you're supposed to get, the boss didn't sign. Didn't prepare lah. All kinds of excuses. It'll take 2 days, 3 days before sometimes you get your money. But in AMWAY, on the 15th of every month, you get your performance bonus, right? If you're sure you can make the... On the 20th of the month, you get your ruby bonus. 25th, you get your 3%. And the pearl you get on the 30th of every month. It's all monthly. I mean, every 5 days after the 15th. And formerly, they used to give the money somewhere around 2 o'clock, they used to say. But nowadays, they give you at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning, you can pick up your check. You don't have to go and ask, my check ready here. They see you, they say your DD number, and it's all in an envelope, ready for you. That is beauty. That is the beauty. Here, the money is there. So some of you are thinking whether there's money. There's a lot of money if you're willing to work. But if you're willing to sit in front of the TV, too much TV, no PV. Yes. So a lot of us, we like to watch Gemini Ganeshan and MGR and all his characters on screen, but not willing to work. And let us be another MGR. Let people talk about us. Why watch other people making money? Why not we make money and let people talk about us? Let us create history. Why read about history? So here there is always a lot of money. The security, the money the business which you build goes on, generation after generation. Even if we stop today, if both of us died last night, the income will go to our children. And AMWAY is not going to ask them, are you in the business? Are you selling sponsoring? Then only we can give you the business. No way, that is dear. We are creating a legacy, which many people don't realize. You see, I want to ask you 2 questions. Some of you think that you're making a lot of money. Let me ask you 2 questions. You can make a lot of money now, but always let's look at the last lap. That is where it counts, isn't it? The last lap. In any race, the last lap is where it counts. If you are working in a company and suddenly you lost your job, and for 6 months you don't have a job, do you think your car is going to be repossessed? Yes, isn't it? If you don't have a job for 1 year, is your house going to be repossessed? Then you know what business you must come into. Because not in the AMWAY business. You cannot work for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Once you build a business, it is forever. You can keep your car, you can keep your house, and you can enjoy a lifestyle. The AMWAY lifestyle is fantastic. The travel around the world. You know, a lot of people talk about, my company send you here for travel, my company send me there for travel. All the company tell and people don't like to go. But we are itching to go for the travel seminar, isn't it? How many of you are going to Perth? Going, isn't it? You all like to go or you all don't want to go? Like to go, right? Okay, so here we have another opportunity to travel. And these companies, when they send people, and sometimes there's no food, you know, they say a few days free, you eat on your own. But in AMWAY, the days which are free, they still give us allowance. You don't have to eat. One of my distributor, he was working in an insurance company, he went for a tour, came back, and it was free. He had to eat apple all the way from US. Now, not in AMWAY, they pay you money, you know. So here the travel is free. Lifestyle is fantastic. We have a lot of money to make. A lot of friends, positive friends. Really, this business transformed me. First, now I can talk in front of you, you must be thinking, this guy can talk. But when we first started, we didn't know how to talk. My pants used to fall, I had to wear belt. That's when I started wearing belt. Now you can belt, but not necessarily pants to fall. Can do it, no problem. Personal development. And one of the greatest things I find in business is to watch the distributors in our organization grow. From people they didn't have a hope in life, today they have a dream. People who couldn't stand up, today they can talk like hell. Formerly when we have to ask them to talk, they mention the name and sit down. Today when they stand up and talk, we have to tell them. Like that. That is personal development. True or not? Great business. And I would think that this is the greatest business in the world. Someone once said, if you want to build, some people tell me, you are a fanatic in the AMWAY business. You are nothing else but AMWAY, isn't it? When you all are so excited, you tell. Someone once said, when you want to build a business, you got to put your heart into business. And you got to put your business in your heart. And that is how you build the AMWAY business. You cannot be, one leg in and one leg out. You have to build it. So these are some of the great things we had in this business. Later on, I'll show you some slides of some of the places we went to. But before I show the slides, I'd like to thank some of the people in my life. First is my father and mother for giving us life, as Violet said. And my father for showing us the work attitude. It's time to work. Let's work. Thank my mother for keeping us as a close family. You know, we are always, big family, 11 of us. We always tend to go here and there, but he always keeps us together. And also, when we go for meetings, my mother always looks after our children. Thank you. Of course, Rich and Jay, as Violet said. And also, I'd like to thank Chan Kuntin. And Chan Kuntin is here because he was the one who was responsible to help our group in Taiwan grow. In fact, Chan Kuntin is a very ethical distributor, really very ethical. In fact, you all should give those of you who have Chan Kuntin is leader, very ethical. I remember he used to tell me, we are far away and I don't speak the language. It is very easy for him to shift line, isn't it? He can tell the guy, okay, now you resign, stone far away, cannot speak, won't know what's happening. You resign, shift line, and we'll have you as a. But not Chan Kuntin. He strictly follows the code of ethics, and he helped me in building up, contribute a little bit to building up that leg. So thank you, Chan. And also Fu Hokian, who together with Chan helped us. Then also all the other diamonds, Dr. Aziz was there, Raymond Wong, and all the other diamonds, who helped us in giving us, always encouraging us to keep on building the business. So that's how we built it. Although it was tough, although it was hard, but today I think it's worth it, isn't it? When we went to US, we represented ADA, went to US, when we represented Malaysia, even in US, those people were excited. Who would have thought that we would have stood up on stage and talked to people in Ada, Michigan, in the AMWAY Grand Plaza Hotel? We never thought that. Never in our wildest dream. But when we went, we talked there. That is one of our great dreams. So you don't know what you can do. Only thing is, stick to the business. Have faith in your sponsor. Have faith in your DD. You can reach the levels you want to go. It's a very simple business. Anyone can do it. If we can do it, you can do it. We don't have 2 heads and 3 legs or 5 legs. We are just like you. Ordinary people, but people with extraordinary dream. So you are the type of people, right? You can do it. I'm going to show some slides of the places we've been to, but before that, I'd like to say, read something to you. Maybe you're interested. So, because sometimes when you come to the business, we are laughed at. Sometimes we cry in the business. People laugh at us because we are taking a risk to build a business. So this poem is called Risking. To laugh is to risk appearing the fool. To weep is to risk appearing sentimental. To reach out for another is to risk involvement. To expose feeling is to risk exposing your true self. To place your ideas, your dreams before the crowd is to risk their loss. To love is to risk and not being loved in return. To live is to risk dying. To hope is to risk despair. To try is to risk failure. But risk must be taken because the greatest hazard in life is to risk nothing. The person who risks nothing, does nothing, has nothing, and is nothing. He may avoid suffering and sorrow, but he simply cannot learn, feel, change, grow, love, and live. Chained by his certitudes, he is a slave. He has forfeited his freedom. Only a person who risks is free. Are you willing to take the risk and become free? So you can do it, right? So I'll show you the slides now. Okay, before the slides, 1 second. Now, Violet said, I think we went to quite a number of places. We went to the first travel seminar, we qualified. We went to Asia Pattaya, then we went to Manila, then we went to a number of places. I can't go, but let me throw the slides. I think you'll be able to know that, okay? So I'd like to throw the slides first. Can I have the slides on, please? Okay, this is the room where we first stayed. Violet said, the one on the left. There's my first son, Atherton. That time he was a small baby, but now he's big. So this is where we stayed first. And now we moved next. This is the house where we are staying now. Now we are a little bit better off. Next. Okay, these are my children. They are helping us in the AMWAY business. They sometimes help us to deliver products to our distributors. Okay, next. Okay, these are the 4 future Crown ambassadors. Next. Okay, this is the group which went to Manila, where we stayed in Silahis, Manila. This is the hotel, Manila. Next. Okay, this is in Manila. You can see there, Teresa Nair, Anne, and myself and my wife. Okay, next. Okay, this is in Bangkok. Jerry is there. Bangkok, next. Okay, this is with Lenny in Bangkok. Next. Okay, this is in Taiwan. When we qualified, we went to Taiwan. Taiwan, next. Oh, this is also Taiwan, another shot in Taiwan. Next. Okay, this is in, I think, one of the hotels, Taiwan. Okay, next. Okay, this is in Jerry's suite in Bangkok. Dr. Jerry and his suite. Okay, next. This is in Hong Kong, the Jumbo restaurant where we had dinner once there. This is Hong Kong. Next. Okay, this is in Hong Kong. Next. Okay, this is also in Hong Kong. You see the space, but dome there. Next. This is also in Hong Kong. This is an Emerald Direct from Hong Kong. Next. This is in Perth, Australia. This is in Merlin, Perth. Okay, next. The same shot, different view. Titus is there. Okay, next. This is also in Perth, Atlantis. Next. This is in Korea. Last year we went to Korea, South Korea. Very cold. Okay, these are some of the people there. Next. Okay, this also in Korea. Next. Korea also. Next. Okay, this after Korea we went on extension tour to Japan. So this is in Japan in one of the rooms. This is wearing the Japanese pajamas or whatever they call it. Okay, next. This is Violet. Okay, in Japan. Yes, next. Okay, this is in Las Vegas. We went the last few months ago. We went to US. This is in Las Vegas. Okay, this is the next. Okay, this is Las Vegas also. Okay, this is in San Francisco in US. Fisherman's Wharf. Yes, next. Okay, this is a Nutrilite plant. We went to see the Nutrilite plant in LA, and this is a Nutrilite plant. Nutrilite exists, it's not a theory, it really exists. Next. Okay, this is the alfalfa, where you all always like to look at alfalfa. This is the alfalfa farm. Okay, next. Okay, this is when we went to the AMWAY World Headquarters in Ada, Michigan, USA. Okay, next. Okay, Violet and Pereira Summit, they resigned. They are now lab employees. Okay, there's next. Okay, AMWAY is our best choice. What about yours? Is it your best choice? Yes. So these are the people next. These are the 2 people who made it happen. If they gave it for a lot of us, you too can make it happen. Thank you. Now, before I wind up, I'd like to thank AMWAY Malaysia for giving us a chance to come up here and share with you the story. And also, we'd like to thank all the staff in AMWAY for giving us a constant encouragement, motivation, always helping us in a lot of areas. I'm not going to mention names because I might miss some names and people say, how come you missed my name? So everybody in AMWAY, thank you very much. Good night.